Good afternoon. I'm JL Valente, Cisco VP and GM Service Provider Solutions in the Cloud Platform and Solutions Group. Marcus?
And I'm Marcus, and I'm founder and managing director of Ngena.
Why don't we use this to get, is that our presentation right there? Yes.
It is.
So we're going to introduce to you first, Marcus will do that, Ngena, Next Generation Enterprise Network Alliance, explain obviously what the business is, the objectives, the mission, clearly the product offering, the principle of the alliance, and then we'll talk about the technology, the structure first of what we built together as a partnership. This is an industrial partnership between a number of service providers, starting with DT, Deutsche Telekom, and Cisco in the formation of Ngena. And then what we've done beyond that. We'll talk about the business model. We'll talk also about the technology, the partnership, and some of the benefits clearly for the enterprise market that we're going after. Marcus?
Yeah, let me kick it off with just describing what we want to do, right? It's all about providing networks for enterprises. So it's targeting really the next generation of IP VPN services. As you all know, all that enterprises are really global, so you need to have perfect coverage to connect all sales sites, production sites, office sites, and so on around the world for a classical or typical enterprise customer. At the same time, internet becomes more and more important as you need to connect to all that public cloud platforms, and internet becomes an integral part of new network designs. Now, classical networks typically do not really support this kind of new requirements for enterprise customers. So we started about thinking how a modern network approach, network platform approach, really covering the globe, providing a global platform, and having high capillarity and a modern set of services, of features should look like. That was a starting point. And what we came up with is a model that had several components. One component is a philosophy of economy of sharing. So there are a lot of good networks out there in the different regions, geographies. So one part of Ngena, of course, is the alliance approach. This means that strong telecommunication service providers are sharing their networks, access and aggregation networks amongst themselves to really get to global coverage. You see here that the Ngena Alliance already has a quite strong set of alliance partners. Just to run you quickly through that, in Europe, we are working, for example, with Altice, with S means SFR in France and Portugal Telecom, KPN in Netherlands, Deutsche Telekom in Germany and parts of Eastern Europe, A1 covering Austria and other parts of Eastern Europe, VEON Russia and many other countries. Then in Asia, it's SK in South Korea, StarHub in Singapore, PCCW Global Hong Kong and a lot of Southeast Asian countries. Reliance Jio in India, MTN for Africa, Neutrona aggregating a lot of countries in Latin America, Xperio filling in some white spots, CenturyLink now including level 3 for the US market, TELUS in Canada. You see already quite good coverage and more partners to come over the next weeks. So there is a strong alliance already built, and these partners are working together with Ngena. Now, Ngena itself is a startup company. What we are doing at Ngena is really developing this global platform which connects the local access networks or the local networks of our alliance partners. And then in using latest technology, we are providing an end-to-end global SD-WAN overlay network, which is quite feature-rich. I will tackle that in a few minutes. So this is exactly what we are doing. So connecting the networks and then more or less allowing or more or less transforming that to a single global SD-WAN overlay network as Ngena. So to build this kind of platform, there's a lot of technology in there. Most of that technology comes from Cisco, and we will have a quick look later on into what are the components. But what is important is it is an end-to-end automated platform. So a lot of the topics you have heard in the previous talk, we have more or less implemented one by one as the previous speaker was talking about, right? Exactly, we did that. We had the privilege to do that green field. So we really started with a data model. We created a global service catalog for all that services, and we could drive that from a very clean table. Yeah, I think that was very important. What we additionally did is we did not stop with the orchestration and the technology platform. We also developed the complete stack towards the OSS and BSS systems. There is another strong partner of that ecosystem that is Comarch, a Polish-based company. So what we're really doing is you can design a global corporate network on a CRM system. We call that solution designer. You can reach out to a global service catalog, can select all that services, bring that together into a complete global network service design, and there is a layered service orchestration which allows us to completely automatically deploy it on a global platform, including the configurations of all that CPEs out there in the market. That is the approach how we are doing it. So it's extremely fast in the way, it's very flexible how you can combine it, and it's highly efficient because it is completely automated. So now have a little bit a closer look at it, how it really looks like. So we have a set of data centers. It will be roughly 25 later on, being dispersed around the world, being connected via a private backbone. We are running a completely virtualized service platform in that data centers. We are using an OpenStack IT environment here to run it. We connect at each of the data centers, we call them Ngena hubs, into the networks of our alliance partners. We are always using two means, high quality, high service levels EPL networks, as well as a low cost, high bandwidth internet networks. So, and you can flexibly choose whether use internet, Ethernet, or combinations of that. We have bundled that into end-to-end what we call service designs, and we have chosen this very nice t-shirt sizes to say a simple internet link is an SD or an XS design, a very small one, and a highly redundant access design based on Ethernet is an XL design. So what you really get, the way how we did that with the central orchestration end-to-end, of course, it's high reliability and very fast provisioning and very good performance of that network itself. Via the alliance approach, you get that global coverage, really reaching out to nearly any location of the world. It is in really using this portal to do all that configuration from an operational point of view, quite easy to handle. And what we also did is we did not just automate the configuration and fulfillment, but also the service assurance piece. So also that one allows us to detect any kind of incident failures very quickly, and also to bundle all that metrics and event data into, I would say, meaningful information for our operations. But beyond that, we also established a very specific way of working together, because we tightly integrated Cisco and Comarch in the way how we have developed the platform. It's really an integrated development process for that one as well. And I think it's the best part because it allows us to bring a lot of innovations very quickly on that platform. And I think now it's, JL, up to you to explain a little bit what Cisco really is contributing.
Sure. Thank you, Marcus. So the approach that we had very initially when we started this about 2.5 years ago was first a global architecture, very layered, to be able to offer consistency in terms of management and control, and clearly a very ruthless automation across the board. So as you said earlier, end-to-end service orchestration, there's zero-touch provisioning throughout the whole process from the boss down. Now we are responsible at Cisco for many building blocks, hardware and software, to build the global infrastructure, the data center hubs, all of the orchestration, the service assurance. We stop at the boss level, just underneath that, and we provide capabilities on the service assurance. The service assurance use itself a machine learning engine. We're using Kafka underneath to collect all of the information. So there's a lot of technology, both open source that Cisco contributed, like Panda, plus actually other components. So what you have here is first, in that design, that architecture, and all the components we've chosen have actually to abide by those principles, the design principles that we had in the architecture. So that's the global scale distributed architecture that we discussed earlier. Obviously, we wanted it to be, it's fully redundant. The level of high availability has to be there. We have to be able to also maintain, upgrade that platform without any interruption. So we have seamless upgrades and capability throughout it. And we really, it's based on a continuous integration and continuous deployment from Cisco. So all the parts that you see from Cisco, they're coming from different business units. They are all integrated pretty much automatically. We do most of the testing in an automated fashion, and then we push that all the way in an automated fashion within the data center hubs, all the way to production. We have 5 or 6 stages. It's all automated. So there's a lot of automation into this to be able actually to run that at scale with a very small team. On the Cisco side, the core team is about 25 people, plus the number of BUs that work around that. So the first one is the hyper-automation with layer automation is based on the NSO product that you saw earlier, the TELF Network Service Orchestrator, which is model-driven, leveraging the Yang aspect. We have all of these CI/CD that we build, number of components that are similar to the ones that you saw earlier, plus others that actually bring all of those elements and validate really that the platform is going to work and operate the way it's supposed to be. The SD-WAN overlay, it's the Viptela engine. Certainly you've seen maybe Viptela in action here, policy-driven, enterprise-class SLAs. That's the engine and the controllers that are used underneath to be able to power the platform in the different hubs. We also have obviously a set of service chaining. We offer security services into this platform from a service chain standpoint in terms of firewalling, in terms of advanced malware protection, in terms of web security. All of that is virtualized and can be based on the service that we define, can be actually invoked into the element. As you said earlier as well, the data center hubs are based, it's an OpenStack, extended OpenStack with Red Hat, with Cisco technology into it, plus the hardware elements, switching compute from Cisco, and other elements actually that contribute to fast performance on the level of performance, leveraging technology like called VPP. And then clearly in terms of the real-time service assurance, we built a number of capabilities, plus we brought a partner called Mooksoft into the mix here to get those elements together. So it's all tied together. We do the integration, the validation, and actually the implementation pretty much in an automated manner across actually the globe. So very briefly, it's more than just the technology. As Telefonica said earlier, the partnership, we can't really dissociate between the team on the Ngena side, that is Ngena, and the team on the Cisco side, that is Ngena. And so we really have a one-team culture across the board for the organization, the level of governance that we have, the commitment. We've been at it for over 2 years together. Dedicated team, very consistent. You can see here the reasons also that, in the Ngena, the focus on the end customers at the end of the day, enterprise, multinational companies of different stripes are the ultimate customers. They're looking for those kind of solutions today. Really, that's really the compelling reason, and I think we'll get back to that in terms of the benefits to the enterprise that Marcus will cover. And then you can see here a number of elements as well in terms of the level of collaboration, integration between the teams that need to exist. The DevOps, when we talk about obviously the whole aspect of the end-to-end automation, the network service orchestration is fundamental to the principles that we have, even the orchestration of the assurance. We orchestrate assurance through the provisioning of the services completely integrated within that model, that Yang model, so it's very unique from that standpoint, requires actually a different mindset. And so that NetOps or DevOps approach is very critical to this project for iteration and being able to push that.
Yeah, and if I more or less take it from here, if there is one real message, it is the classical supplier relationship doesn't work with this kind of models. If you want to move, finally what we are doing, it's a cloud-based network platform which allows a very fast innovation cycles because of the deep integration of technology providers here. If there's one message, it's a teaming approach. It is about bringing people together and working on the same target. And the time we started that exercise, we did not exactly know where we would end up, because during the way how we developed it and how we implemented it, we learned a lot. And it is a real, DevOps is not just a word, it really means that you learn while you are walking. And you need to have a partner which is willing and be capable to more or less live according to that process. And luckily, with the key partners we have, Cisco and Comark, we found two partners which allows us to develop this kind of platform in that approach and to deliver a value to customers. I think this is outstanding. And let me just walk you through that one. So it is about global coverage, I mentioned that. But finally it's also about local care, because still there's a lot of work to be done in the local market, implementation of CPEs and maintenance on site, so you need to have that combination. It's about high agility and fast deployment. This comes via the very, very consequent automation approach, where you more or less have no manual intervention anymore in any type of implementing a service. And even in service assurance, we have gone a quite far way in automating. The third one I want to mention is the way how we do co-innovation allows us to bring new services on a global platform, which then is available to any place of the world within weeks. If you're coming, as I am do, from a classical service provider environments, and you know about the IT release containers, half-year cycles, 1 year to 1.5 years planning cycles, and things like that. This is a completely new way of doing things and of innovating also in the network arena. And this provides a lot of value for customers, because they need that to be agile and fast in their markets themselves. So finally, it's all about operational, I would say, quality. It's about reliability. So JL already mentioned that. It's about security, which we build in. It's about resilience and redundancy and so on, to ensure high quality, which always is the key if it comes to corporate networks. I want to leave it here. And I'm very glad to have the chance to do that. We are now in the market. We have launched a platform. It is, as JL described already, the new SD-WAN architecture and philosophy of Cisco completely integrated in that platform. So we have been very fast in integrating the Viptela stuff there as well. So we are happy to sell into the market. Thanks a lot.